Hello everybody, in this video I have some art journaling to share with you. On this spread I am concentrating on using some rice paper and some washi tape for my base. I often have this formula of kind of using a pretty paper and tearing some bits of it up and using that as my base and having, that same formula for every spread I make. So I was trying to do something different. Arguably using rice paper isn't that different from using a piece of scrapbook paper, but I'm trying. I will confess, actually, you saw a snippet of the art journal spread that was intended for this video. I was trying to expand my art journaling horizons and use a little bit more colour. Basically not use vintagey colours, but I ended up really hating it, so deleted the footage. So one day you will see me do something with colour, but no, not today. As ever, I prep my pages with using a large piece of masking tape down the centre, which prevents any of the inks and paints and stuff from seeping through the spine onto other pages, and with a layer of white gesso as well, although I think I put that on after preparing these little rice paper flowers. I use you can just use a paintbrush with water, but I use one of these little aqua brushes to paint what I want to cut out of the rice paper. It makes tearing it so much easier. If you tear it without that little water line, you never quite know which way the tear's going to go, and if you cut it you don't get that lovely soft edge. So that's what I was doing there, and then grabbing some washi tape and placing it randomly all over my pages. This first washi tape I've used, I know, is one by Prima Marketing. The second one, I'm afraid I can't remember where it's from. Same for the rice paper, actually. I did ages and ages ago buy a load from Maramy Small Art, but it has to have been a long time ago because she doesn't send to the UK anymore. I also got quite a lot from an Etsy shop called like Napkin Crafts or something. I will see if I can find it for you. As I said, I don't know where I got that exact one from, but it would be one or the other. Anyway, oh, there's a loud plane going over. I don't know if you could hear that, but I decided to wait until it passed because it was really loud for me. Living in Lincolnshire, there is a lot of sort of RAF activity, like a lot of bases and stuff, so occasionally you do get this really loud planes going over. Anyway, what am I doing? I added my layer of white gesso after I added the washi, so I could sort of blend in those washi edges, then put down my rice paper florals that I had prepared. They will stick down just fine on the wet gesso, and then I'm going over the top of those with clear gesso as well. And then I decided more washi tape was needed for my background, so I grabbed another one. Again, I'm sorry, I can't remember where this one is from. I decided with this one as well to rip it up a bit more so it looked, I don't know, a little more scrappy, I suppose you could call it. And then it stuck down just fine on the wet gesso as well. But I did have to make sure to then go over it again with the clear gesso because not many paints and things, acrylic yes, but any other inks, sprays, watercolours, whatever, are not going to be very happy on top of washi tape. So yeah, putting a layer of clear gesso over that so I can continue to add pretty things. Then with my page nice and dry, I used a heat gun because I am impatient. And again, make sure that is super dry. Mine wasn't completely dry, so sometimes the paint mixed a little bit with the white gesso and I got a slightly creamy effect. But again, that's my impatience shining through. But I sprayed all over that now dry page with water to make these watercolours I'm using blend really well. These watercolours are the Kuretake ones. I love these so much. I think some watercolour purists don't like these as much because they're quite strong creamy colours for watercolours, but I don't care. I'm not a watercolour purist. I love them. So I'm going to go in with this lighter sort of sepia brown and just let the water smush it around the page, do it whatever it wants to do, and then I'm going to go in with a dark brown as well. And this is going to take a while, and there's not really anything very creative I can say about it, so I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you watch the general paint happen and then come back. setting that aside to dry, I wanted to do some fussy cutting of some elements I wanted to add to this page. As you can see, it's not as bad in the video, but my goodness, was the sun shining directly onto my desk. All I managed to do was fussy cut these couple of bits, and then like for the next half an hour I walked away from my desk and my eyes were like all, you know, weird and spotty because, as I say, that sun was really beaming in. I still need to get Velux window blinds for this particular window in my craft room because at certain points of the day that sun, oh, it really beams in and it hurts my eyes. Anyway, I actually had this really set idea of what I wanted on this page, and it was butterflies, but it was a particular colour. I cannot tell you how long I spent looking for that exact thing I wanted, and I still didn't really find it, but I found this paper, which is a Prima one, I forget what collection, but it was close enough in terms of the butterflies. It also had those really cute little sort of gold foiled floral clusters, which I'm not going to use in this spread, but I did cut out and keep them on my desk as a sort of use these at some point soon. Here I'm just doing some background stamping. I forgot what I used there. Hang on. Just went back to look. I think that looked like it was archival ink in sepia, and the stamping, you probably can't see it very well, but it's sort of a handwriting-y, like messy handwriting stamp, just like really small and subtle and looks really cool. Or is it a typed one? Now I can't remember. I really should have just put the spread out in front of me so I can look at it. Anyway, around those butterflies, I put Distress Oxide in brushed corduroy, and then I needed some words on the page. Grabbed these Tim Holtz quote chips, took off most of the chipboard backing because I don't want them to pad out my journal too much. As you see, decorated, well, not decorated, but distressed them a little with that same colour, and I've stuck all those pieces down with, I think, glossy accents. At this point, I really felt like something else was needed. You might be looking at it thinking it's fine, you don't need to add anything else, but I am a maximalist crafter, I suppose we could say, not a minimalist one. So I went through, I grabbed all these butterfly embellishments and things I could find, and I found this set with the pretty butterflies and the little fairy girl. It was either from the range or from Poundland a very, very long time ago. I forget how long, but I thought it kind of worked and looked kind of cute with the whole thing. With the little fairy girl, I'm taking a Stabilo all pencil in brown and going around the edges and sort of blending that pencil in. Because it's a sort of shiny surface, it blends easily. If it wasn't a shiny surface, you would have to add a little bit of water to make it blend. But I did that because otherwise, like, the edges of her little cutout would be quite harsh against the page, so that's why I did that. And then looking at it, I thought we could do some more of that blending with the pencil, so I did it, as you can see, around those words. And then I started doing it around the butterflies, but they weren't standing out enough, so I actually took a black instead. Oh, but first I wanted some, I don't know, some sparkle going on, so I grabbed this Nouveau glitter pen and I'm just adding little dots, kind of as if they're splatters. They're just, you know, splatters that I am in control of. And oh my goodness, another plane is going over. Right, that's it. I'm going on Plane Finder. Okay, definitely RAF, but I can't tell you what kind of plane it is, but I can tell you it's 11,000 feet, and that's about it. Anyway, moving on, still using my Nouveau pen there for the fake splatters, and then I went in, as I was talking about before, with a Stabilo all pencil in black this time to go around the edges of things. Black can be quite scary to use sometimes, I feel, and I think it's only thanks to Marta from Marry Small Art that I feel brave enough to use that colour. But I used that to go around the butterflies, and I'm really glad I did because I love the way it really makes them stand out. And I did a sort of light going around them at first and then went back and made it heavier each time, and yeah, I really like the way that looks. Lastly, I'm going to finish with just a couple of splatters. I'm actually going to use a dark grey ink. It's Dilutions in Slate Grey rather than a black. I use this in place of a black ink sort of thing to spray, as I think it works without the complete harshness of black. But yes, that's what I use. I don't use much of it at all. And then I think the layout is finished. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about me getting distracted by planes. It happens a lot. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. All the relevant links to products used, where I can find them, will be in the description. Chat to me in the comments, subscribe if you haven't already, you know, all the YouTubey things, and yep, that's it. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much again. Bye bye.